speed restriction is in effect for a reason. Some crews just went through this stretch as well. This is a live look for you in the Millbury area. We had a tractor trailer, a tandem tractor trailer there that jackknifed, and that was over in the Sturbridge area. We had another FedEx truck that jackknifed in that same stretch, so just be careful if you do need to head out. Let's get to the maps and see what's happening right now. Again, that 40-mile-an-hour speed restriction in effect from New York to Weston, and if you're traveling out, keep in mind there's no HOV lane today on the expressway. Just cleared another accident involving 5 cars right here in the Charlton stretch, so this area has been very busy throughout the morning. We had that tractor trailer earlier, the jackknifed, and had all lanes closed over on the Charlton-Oxford line. And then if you're traveling a little bit farther east and south of there, still watching this crash here, spin out on 93 northbound. And then as you make your way north of town, we're getting reports of spin out after spin out pretty much from Haverhill to Andover and right here on 495 south over by Route 3. Here are some of the others that are still out there. 495 south by 93, another spin out coming in there by 97. And if you're traveling a little farther north of there, this crash here involving a plow and another vehicle. So please don't crowd those plows. Let them do their job and get those roads cleared up for us. If you're heading out to the trains, keep in mind a few reminders for you. They are on a weekend schedule for the T. The shuttle buses are replacing the Mattapan trolley. Amtrak service is still suspended between New York and Boston. And if you're heading out to the ferries, not happening today, they are suspended as well. And there are cancellations, lots of them, in and out of Logan. So you want to call ahead and check with your carrier. Commuter rail on an extremely reduced schedule today. And here are some of the trains that are running behind. At this point, Rockport Plymouth line seeing some delays. And now we've also got some delays for the red line of the T. Again, on a very, very limited schedule today. We'll continue to keep you posted throughout the day. Randy, Antoinette?
All right, Alyssa, thank you.
Yeah, and Olesa said it, the governor said it yesterday, the DOT said it, don't crowd the plows. I don't know why you would want
Stay
to,
off the road if you can.
yeah, being well behind them is the place you want to be if you are going to hit the roads this morning. Speaking of hitting those roads, out there along 128, our Diane Cho is live for us in Newton this morning, and we can see that snow has really been sticking to you, Diane.
It absolutely is. It's that wet, heavy stuff right now coming down outside. And the wind seems to have picked up just a little bit. It's blowing across, making the snow go sideways as we speak. You can see that the road conditions right now, slushy, snow-packed at this hour. Not that many people out on the roads here at this particular location, so that's the good news. And the ones that we have seen going by seem to be taking it slow, which is the idea if you really do need to go out today, because the conditions out here are only going to get worse. You can see the signs here behind me. Not really much there to see. It's covered in snow. It's hard to read, hard to see. And again, the snowfall right now coming down, and it's only going to continue to pick up. So if you don't have to be out here, you might want to just consider staying home. Back to you.
All right, Diane, thank you. Of course, most people have heeded the advice, stayed off the roads. A lot of people can't, have to be at work for some reason or the other. But if you do have to go out, take it very, very slowly. And again, how many times can we say it, but it's so true. Don't crowd those plows.
Yes, indeed. This is a live look from Revere this morning. It looks like police have blocked off this area. This is right on the Revere-Winthrop line, Winthrop Parkway, Revere Beach Parkway, that area. You can see the waves. This splashover is starting to happen. We're about 40 minutes after high tide this morning. Minor to moderate flooding is expected with this storm, but our Katie Thompson has been out there on the scene. She's telling us that the rocks are coming over from that sea spray, and really it's just splashing hard right now. We're going to continue to monitor this situation as well as the snowfall all around the state. We have probably until later tonight 3 hours and some change into this storm, and the snow has really piled up in some areas. We're back with more coverage after this.
There's still time to save at Nissan now. Don't miss big offers on Rogue with ProPilot Assist that helps keep you centered in your lane. The technology of tomorrow, available today. Time is running out. Save big on our entire lineup now. It's time for an upgrade. Hurry into the Nissan Now sales event. Exclusive offers end soon. Lease the Rogue family for $159 per month, or lease the 2017 Nissan Pathfinder just $239 per month. There's still time to save at Nissan now. Don't miss big offers on Rogue with ProPilot Assist that helps keep you centered in your lane. The technology of tomorrow, available today. Time is running out. Save big on our entire lineup now. It's time for an upgrade. Hurry into the Nissan Now sales event. Exclusive offers end soon. Lease the Rogue family for $159 per month, or lease the 2017 Nissan Pathfinder just $239 per month.
Free Xyzal? Truly noteworthy. Get your free 10-day sample at Xyzal.com.
40% of food in America never gets eaten. When we start to think differently about our food, we can get a lot more out of it.
Designed to handle unexpected moments, helping you adapt at every turn. The Lincoln MKX.
All right, here we go at 9:43 on your Tuesday morning. We are in the thick of this latest March nor'easter, and right here along the sides of the roads, those crews, this is exactly why Boston Mayor Marty Walsh asked employers to keep everyone home today, keep as many cars off the road if possible, because we want to give all of these road crews room and space to do their job, because this is a long duration storm. A lot of snow expected out of this one.
Hopefully things will be back and running at a more normal pace tomorrow. Things are slowing down as well in Metro West. We're live here in Framingham, right along Route 9. You can see just a handful of traffic, which is good. The folks here, the crews have been out working, and you can see some of them here clearing up the roads and parking lots as we go.
All right, we have a lot more to get to this morning. Kellyanne Chicalese keeping an eye on this storm.
Yes, that snowfall is accumulating very quickly, and the intensity of the snowfall coincides with the strongest wind and also the timing of our high tide. We're just 30 minutes away past that high tide, but still seeing very high levels right now. That surge building between 2.5 to 3.5 feet. Getting reports of minor to moderate flooding. In particular, there's a report out in Plymouth Beach of some flooding and also some splash over heading toward Revere. That's right near the seawall. So we are watching that at this point. For this evening, there's another high tide at 9:52. Not as much concern with that one, and the main reason for that is because the intensity of the storm will start to come down, and also the the wind direction will start to shift, and that's actually going to work in our favor. Wave heights are building quickly. Right now, the strongest wave height we're seeing is up to about 26 feet, and that's just southeast of Nantucket. Moving closer to the shoreline, though, you can see the waves mainly between 18 to 20 feet, and that stretches right up through Cape Ann. The highest waves right now just east of Nantucket, where we're seeing that wave height along the immediate coast up to 21 feet, slightly higher as you move farther off the coast. So here's a look at our winds right now, and they are also picking up in intensity. Wind gusts in Boston near 43, but just moving down toward Plymouth, wind gusts near 53 miles per hour, 62 heading down toward Nantucket. So these strong winds are going to keep those waves very strong and also keep the seas building through later this morning. So we still have concerns there. The coastal flood advisory and the coastal flood warning is still in effect until noon. Now the wind is really working against us. You'll see as we move toward later this morning and the afternoon, it's holds strong. 55 to 65 mile per hour gusts. Nantucket could see wind gusts closer to 70 miles per hour. By this evening, the wind's still strong, not quite as strong as what we're seeing for this morning and early afternoon, but notice the wind direction starts to shift to the northwest. That's going to work in our favor, and that wind turning more westerly overnight, that's going to help it to eventually die down, and so those tidal concerns won't be quite as strong. So that coastal flood advisory is north of Boston, pretty much from Cape Ann, moving right up through York County, Maine, and that's where we see the chances of minor flooding still, and that's in effect through about noon, that advisory. So we have to watch for those waves still building at this point with some beach erosion. Moving down from all the way down through Plymouth, right onto the Cape, minor minor to moderate flooding. That chance of moderate flooding is a little stronger as you move down toward the Cape, and especially the ocean side of the Cape. That's where we see the best chance of some of that moderate flooding, and the east side of Nantucket. One place that we'll really have to watch is we could see very severe erosion with wave heights building between 25 to even 30 feet, a surge of up to 3.5 feet as well. So we're still seeing some very high concerns as far as our coastal issues, and that's of course going to continue through the next couple of hours. One thing working in our favor, Randy and Antoinette, is that the coastal concerns will start to come to an end by this evening.
Unfortunately, things have not gotten out of hand at this point. Thank you very much, Kellyanne. Earlier when we were talking to Doug in downtown Boston, he was showing us the water coming up along the waterfront there.
Yeah, Doug has gotten back in the car. He's in the passenger seat right now, experiencing what it's like to drive on those roads, and it's pretty tricky out there. Doug?
It's not fun, Antoinette. Good morning. We're just going past the Lennox Hotel here in Boylston. Some folks are ventured out, as you can see, on foot. But look at the army of folks that are working the various businesses, trying to keep the sidewalks as clear as they can. But you know what? They've got a challenge on their hands out here, as do the snow plows and anybody that's trying to keep up with snow removal this morning. It's just coming down at a rate that as soon as they clear a path, or as soon as they clear a street, or as soon as they clear a sidewalk, within just a few minutes, it's snow covered once again. We got outside moments ago just to take a walk around, and it is extremely slippery out here. I mean, you don't have to walk a few steps and you could end up on your keister, I don't mind telling you. It's a tough go for walkers, it's a tough go for drivers, but as you can see, let's see, it's 10 minutes of 10 here on a Tuesday morning, and Boylston Street normally would be jammed, lined with cars and whatnot. That is not the case down here right now. Not a lot of folks coming down into the city to go to work. That is a good thing. But you can see all the folks that are trying to keep up with it. They're doing a good job, but they're going to be at this all day based on the course of the storm and the length of it. So if you don't have to go out, you really shouldn't, because it's really not safe. We're taking it at a real slow pace out here, giving ourselves lots of distance between the cars in front of us. So we're doing our best to just be safe as possible, but with fewer cars out on the road, it's probably a better thing. But you can see, even after the plows have come through, it gets chunky, full, and thick, and you've got fresh snow building on some of the side roads as we speak. So it's best to just kind of enjoy this from home with a nice cup of warm coffee, or perhaps a little cocoa with marshmallow. That sounds delicious. That's the very latest from out here in the Back Bay. Doug Meehan, WCVB News Center 5.
All right, Doug, we didn't get the memo in time, so here we are. Well, when you look at that, is exactly what, and we were talking earlier to Boston Mayor Marty Walsh. He was hoping that people would stay off the streets, and of course the schools are shut down in the city and many other municipalities today, and that's helping those crews, because indeed they will be out there all day and into the night trying to get things back in order for tomorrow.
Oh yeah, several hours to go with this. In some areas, it's the snow we're seeing piling up along the coast. It's been hard for that snow to pile up because of how windy it's been, but in areas like Scituate, you guys, Sarah, Kanji, are right in what is going to be the jackpot area of this snow, but at this point, it's those waves behind you that we're really seeing churn.
Yeah, I wish it was a better jackpot than that here in Scituate and all along the South Shore here, but the winds now, the sustained winds, feel very, very strong, and the snow along with the ocean spray really just very sharp, very stabbing on the skin. But take a look at the ocean behind me, if I can move here against the wind. It is churning up a lot of water, splash over. High tide was at about 9:15, but we've been watching that splash over increase over the last hour or so. There is some flooding at some of the lower lying areas. Major flooding not expected from this storm unless, of course, those weakened parts of the seawall end up breaking away, and some communities, Marshfield, Duxbury, watching that very closely. Take a look at some video that was shot earlier. There is some flooding along the roads in Scituate here and some of the lower lying areas along the coast. Nothing terrible, which is the good news. And really, the issue for this storm in this community is this wind, as well as the snow, the heavy snowfall totals. You've been hearing Cindy talk about how we're supposed to get 20+ inches in this area along the South Shore. We haven't seen much accumulation right here on the coast, and we are
literally right here on the coast because the wind's just blowing that snow everywhere. But further inland, definitely we're seeing a coating of snow, and that is increasing, and we'll see more of that as the day progresses. But these winds have been getting stronger and stronger, so fierce, and there is concern about scattered power outages because of that wind. And you know, these communities here like Scituate and all along the coast, they've been hammered by those two first nor'easters and now this within a 2-week time period. Some folks haven't even finished cleaning up and repairing, and we've seen evidence of that. There is still debris and rocks everywhere, different parts of porches and decks broken off of homes. And here we are again dealing with yet another storm in the middle of March. We'll keep you posted on the progress here and the conditions here, but right now, whoa, this is a very strong wind, and that snow and ocean spray, it really kind of hurts. Live this morning, live at noon, Sarah Conji in Scituate.
Sarah, thank you. Sarah was mentioning the possibility of power outages. We already have tens of thousands of them reported this time. In fact, not far from Sarah in Cohasset, a good portion of that town was out earlier today and is likely still out at this hour. Power went off at your house in
just
Canton, which is not a coastal area, but oh my gosh,
you just never know
when
it can come down. We spoke with a representative from Eversource earlier this morning. They were saying a lot of the trees are already weakened by this, and then you have the weakened trees. They're taking down the power lines. It's very windy outside, so they're really they have to put the lineman safety first as well before they get to these down power lines. So patience is going to be key here with this storm.
And a big salute to all of the crews out working on that, because they've had an exhausting period of time from the last storm getting the power back on, and here we are again going out, and they will not be able to go out until the conditions are right. All right, let's go to the North Shore, to Revere. Katie Thompson holding on to the rail, we hope.
Literally, yes, Randy. We are now more than a half hour from high tide, and we are still dealing with the splashover from these big waves here on Winthrop Parkway. We are in Revere, but as you head towards Winthrop, you can see a state trooper has parked his vehicle. If you know this area, you know the road splits here. You can go down this half by the seawall, or you can go on the other side. This state trooper is trying to prevent people from going down the left side of Winthrop Parkway because these waves are washing over, and we know that from here to the Winthrop side, there is a lot of pooling of that splashover, so that has created some problems. We've seen the crews coming by, kind of scooping up what debris they can, the rocks, the sticks, the seaweed, and what's already there from last week too. So they're out here, they're working hard. The other big difference, since I just talked to you even half hour ago, is the roads are covered with snow. They are coated completely. The snow is picked up. We are starting to see it coat the roads, and it's not helping. It's really that greasy, heavy, wet snow. We haven't seen a changeover to anything more fluffy yet here in Revere, but we're still seeing those sustained winds of about 30 miles an hour with gusts up to 45. This has been the case now for several hours. Again, we are now more than a half hour from high tide, and we still see the splashover here on the seawall, Winthrop Parkway. We are in Revere. The road is closed as you head towards Winthrop on that left side. We'll keep you posted live in Revere. Katie Thompson, WCVB News Center 5.
All right, Katie, thank you.
All right, we have some pictures to show you about some different issues happening throughout the area. This one is coming to us from the Holliston Police Department. You can see there the top of that utility pole. It is on fire. This is Norfolk Street by Arcadia Farms. The fire department and Eversource, they're both aware of this situation, and this could be contributing to some power outages in that area. Holliston right now reporting about 16% of the town without power. That's just about 1,000 customers affected by this. Elsewhere, we have a downed utility pole taking wires down with it. This is in Falmouth, right along John Parker Road near Clark Street. That road is closed as well. This is the story that we've been telling you about all morning. Eversource and other utilities warning that a lot of trees in the area are weakened. They've been through so much with the last couple of storms coming down and, of course, taking power lines with them. Now to Duxbury, where this power line fire is on St. George Street. Wow, look at that. that. That's scary. Right in front of someone's home there. Power is out in that area right now as well. So a lot of issues to contend with all around the region.
Up on the North Shore, this is Salisbury Beach. So snowy and white, you can't even see the ocean at this point. The residents are being urged to stay off the roads for the duration of the storm. Speaking of those pictures, we want to thank everyone for sending us pictures and again reissue that safety precaution. Do it if it's safe. Don't get out near power lines and send us pictures from any of that. But we do appreciate the updates from your neighborhood. When possible, send us a picture or video. You can post that on ULocal on the mobile app.
Yeah, not far from Salisbury, where we were just looking at those pictures. We did talk to the Newburyport fire chief this morning. They were saying they were just trying to get out ahead of this storm because one of the issues is that they just got the power back on. So they are just urging everyone, be patient with this if your power is out. We're back in Boston this morning. Look at this. This is the road there. It has been really tricky. We talked to Mayor Marty Walsh earlier this morning, and for the last couple of days, he had said that he had asked employers to please make it a work from home day, make it a day off for your employees, because the crucial factor here is making sure that they can get everything cleaned up. And to do that, they need people to stay out of the way. Right along Revere this morning, this is where our Katie Thompson has been posted all morning long. Right-hand side of your screen, we're just panning off of that right now, but you can see that that road is closed because of all of this splash over. You can see the ocean's getting going this morning. We're about an hour after the high tide. Not as major of a coastal flooding issue, but a snow issue with this storm.
We're out throughout the area and on the roads, keeping you updated. This is News Center 5's coverage.
There's still time to save at Nissan now. Don't miss big offers on Rogue with ProPilot Assist that helps keep you centered in your lane. The technology of tomorrow, available today. Time is running out. Save big on our entire lineup now. It's time for an upgrade. Hurry into the Nissan Now sales event. Exclusive offers end soon. Lease the Rogue family for $159 per month, or lease the 2017 Nissan Pathfinder just $239 per month. There's still time to save at Nissan now. Don't miss big offers on Rogue with ProPilot Assist that helps keep you centered in your lane. The technology of tomorrow, available today. Time is running out. Save big on our entire lineup now. It's time for an upgrade. Hurry into the Nissan Now sales event. Exclusive offers end soon. Lease the Rogue family for $159 per month, or lease the 2017 Nissan Pathfinder just $239 per month.
Apex Entertainment on Route 20 West in Marlboro offers family fun for all ages with 10-pin or candlepin luxury bowling, an exciting 20-foot suspended ropes course with over 65 arcade games to choose from, and a fast-paced multi-level go-kart track. Battle friends in our 2-story laser tag arena. When you run out of gas, stop into the Pit Stop Tavern to fuel up. For more information on team building, corporate events, and birthday parties, visit apexentertainmentcenter.com today.
40% of food in America never gets eaten. When we start to think differently about our food, we can get a lot more out of it.
From Boston's news leader, this is WCVB News Center 5.
Good morning, everyone. 10 o'clock here on this Tuesday as we deal with yet another nor'easter. It just seems hard to believe, but here we go again. You're taking a live look here from Revere, where you can see the sea is really churned up, and you can also see those snowflakes being blown almost sideways by the wind.
Yeah, live pictures now in Boston. You can see, it looks like the green line is running right there. Roads actually not in too bad of shape right now, but the snow is coming down pretty hard, and a lot more of it is on the way this morning.
Yeah. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning. Ben Simoneau alongside Emily Reamer taking over for Randy and Antoinette at this hour as the snow and the storm continues to intensify.
Right. So we do have some outages that we want to tell you about right now. We know there are more than 72,000 people without power at this point. Cohasset more than 50% of those customers are out right now. We know Plymouth, Carver, Marshfield also dealing with some significant outages at this point.
Yeah, and that is not unexpected, especially given that along the coast is where we were expecting to see the highest winds and also the highest snowfall totals. Let's bring in meteorologist Cindy Fitzgibbon. So Cindy, we are entering the midst of this storm now.
We sure are, but the blizzard warning that you mentioned along the coast with the strong wind and the heavy snow creating, whiteout conditions at times, that goes till 8 o'clock tonight. So we still have many hours of this to go. Outside of that, we've got a winter storm warning that continues till 8 o'clock tonight as well. Now I'm showing you our local live radar here because it's been doing a really good job this morning in picking up the heaviest snow bands. And you can see right now that extends from Brockton down through Providence. And these have been pivoting westward with time. And we get renewed bands and multiple bands at that. There is another one up toward the New Hampshire seacoast and the North Shore, and another one here just east of the Berkshires stretching on toward the Springfield area. What happens is in between these bands of more intense snow, you get much lighter snow. And we've seen a lot of that through Worcester County. So you haven't had as much snow and not nearly the stronger winds we've had along the coastline. So take a look at the numbers coming in so far. We just got an updated report out of North Dighton, now up to 8.2 inches of snow. Framingham closing in on 7 inches. Westwood 6.3. Natick 6 inches. We have had 5.2 out of Newton, and in New Bedford 5 inches of snow. So this snow is piling up quickly, particularly when you get on some of those heavier bands. And we have one of those right now on the Cape. You can see some intense snow there. Another one here stretched from Taunton back toward Providence. This is where we have some heavier snow. You can see the snow intensity not as strong now out through Metro West and Boston as it was just about a half an hour ago, but it is still snowing, and that snow is continuing here as you go tight on in from Newton, Brookline, right on into Boston. We've had these big fat flakes which do pile up quickly, and we're seeing that to the north as well on the North Shore, right on up into the Merrimack Valley. So we are far from done with this storm. These intense bands pivot all the way down here. You can see across eastern Long Island and closer to New York City, and they're wrapping around the center of our storm, which is getting stronger. This is still intensifying, so we are not done with the wind just yet, and we're not done with the snow. It is going to keep going all day long, and that's going to give us these totals: 12 to 16 inches of snow through a lot of Worcester County, where it will be much fluffier in nature, and closer to the coastline, it's 16 to 20 inches of snow. Northeasterly winds are going to create more of these intense bands here through the Plymouth area, the South Coast, and the Upper Cape, and this is where we could potentially see more than 20 inches of snow. So the heaviest, I think, is going to be through about 6 p.m., but the snowfall rates at times will continue at 1 to up to 3 inches per hour, so that's why we're urging you not to head on out in this. And the strongest winds, we've seen them ramp up this morning. They're with us through the early afternoon. The winds closing in on 70 miles per hour. Wellfleet, East Falmouth, Woods Hole, all in the upper 60s in terms of gusts, and even over at Logan, we've had a wind gust close to 50 miles per hour. Winds still gusting over 40 and 50 miles per hour out there right now, and that has caused this, as you were talking about at the beginning here, we've got numerous power outages out there. All of these blue squares represent where we've had reports of trees down and in some cases wires down as well. And unfortunately, with the wind and the heavier snow in this area, we do fear that numerous power outages will be a concern right on into the afternoon. Want to talk a little bit more about the coastline now, because that wind coinciding with the high tide, we have had some issues along the coastline, Kellyanne.
Absolutely, and it's the coastline where we're looking to see some of the heaviest of accumulations of snowfall. Keep in mind the high tide was around 9:14. We're about a half hour or so away from that, but still seeing some impacts on our coastline, with some splash over still being reported in the Revere area, and even some flooding heading down toward Plymouth Beach. So that's where we're seeing some of the biggest impacts at this point. We still have a coastal flood advisory and a coastal flood warning in effect, and that's in effect through noon today. Beyond that point, not looking to see much outside of splashover with the next high tide closer to 9:30 to even 10 o'clock this evening. And with that one, we'll see the wind direction start to shift, so the concerns are not quite as high. Let's shift over to the snowfall, because we're starting to see those accumulations picking up rather quickly in our area. So as we move out toward the North Shore, we're expecting those accumulations to jump up to near 5 inches as we move toward 11 o'clock this morning. Already seeing many accumulations out that way between 3 to even 4 inches. As we move toward 8 o'clock this evening, jumping jumping up to 17 inches of snowfall. Let's move out to the west. Worcester, many reports out that way, up to 6 to even 7 inches of snowfall, jumping up to near 8 inches by 11 o'clock. And then from there, accumulating well over a foot, 16 inches by 8 o'clock this evening. By 11 o'clock, up to 17 inches of snow. In Boston, likely jumping to near 8 inches of snowfall in the area. Keep in mind, we do have a heavier band that's currently pushing through. 16 inches by 5 o'clock this evening, just about 18 inches as we move toward late tonight around 11 o'clock. Moving down toward Plymouth, that's where the heaviest accumulations of snowfall are expected, where we could see over 20 inches of snowfall. Already seeing those reports coming in over 6 inches in spots, especially as you move inland right now. 15 inches by 2 o'clock expected. Even moving down toward the Cape, we're seeing those accumulations raking upward rather quickly. Could see some spots with over 16 inches of snowfall. This is just until 11 o'clock. Ben and Emily, we're actually expecting an inch or two, even beyond that point, heading into tomorrow morning.
Wow, Kellyanne, the accumulation already building up so much, and we're really just at the start of this thing.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's head down to the South Shore, one of the areas that's expected to get the biggest pounding from this storm, and our Todd Kiskiewicz, who's along Route 3 in the Hingham area. Todd.
Well, good morning. The snow really piling up here. We're starting to see quite a bit of accumulation. The road crew is doing a good job trying to stay ahead of the storm, but the bigger concern is actually not the snowfall, but visibility on the roads. As the snow comes down and the winds start whipping that snow around, I would say we're probably at maybe 100 yards best case scenario visibility. You might be able to see that speed limit sign 60 miles an hour on a normal day. We're under 30 miles an hour here right now. There is only one car ahead of us far into the distance. Not sure if you could see that on your screen, but it gives you a sense that there are not very many people on the roads for obvious reasons. The wind is whipping the snow around. As I said, visibility is pretty bad, pretty poor at this point. The road conditions themselves, as I mentioned, not that bad. Still, obviously, you want to stay off the road if at all possible. So we'll keep you posted as we make our way south. And for now, we're going to send it back to you in the studio.
All right, Todd Kiskiewicz, stay safe out there, Todd. Thank you very much.
All right, want to take you to Framingham now. Josh Brogadier there for us live. Josh, how is it?
Ben and Emily, good morning to both of you. Hope you're doing well there. Everything's going okay out here in terms of the amount of snow coming. We have had steady progress throughout the morning. I'm standing on a spot that plow drivers have plowed here in the Kent Steakhouse parking lot, and I kid you not, look at how much I can get here. They just plowed this. It had to be about 15 minutes ago. They've made at least 5 or 6 passes through here. This gives you some idea of how fast this stuff is accumulating. Now, as for Route 9, which is over here, there aren't too many cars out there, fortunately. But you can see the road is now snow covered. Same story as I've been telling you in here is going on out there. We've seen the plow trains come by 5 or 6 times. It doesn't matter. It just keeps piling up. A little bit on the quality of the snow. We started our morning with that really pasty stuff that I could potentially juggle for you if I put my mic down if you want me to. But otherwise, I'll just show you that it was really packed and heavy. This stuff, by the way, is now getting fluffy. It's getting a little bit colder out here. The quality of the snow has definitely changed, and the wind is also picking up. There are some drivers out here, but not too many. This would be a totally different story, of course, on a normal Tuesday in March along Route 9 here in Framingham. Kids aren't in school, enjoy it while you're outside, and of course, if you do have to go out, make sure you stay safe. We're live in Framingham. Josh Brogadier, WCVB, News Center 5.
Josh, I do feel like you shouldn't make an offer like that without expecting that we will come back and ask you to juggle,
Yes.
a little bit later.
We will definitely check back in with Josh Brogadier shortly. In the meantime, let's show you some pictures from Boston. And hey, the Green Line is running, although of course the T saying it's on a reduced schedule across the board, extremely reduced for the commuter rail this morning. The roads, well, not too bad. It looks like they're keeping on. Oh, we had some juggling.
Oh, okay, we're back to Josh. Oh, see, here he is. This is what happens when you offer to put down the microphone.
Ready.
Oh, man, that wasn't.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Josh Brogadier, the man of the hour.
Yes.
There's still time to save at Nissan now. Don't miss big offers on Rogue with ProPilot Assist that helps keep you centered in your lane. The technology of tomorrow, available today. Time is running out. Save big on our entire lineup now. It's time for an upgrade. Hurry into the Nissan Now sales event. Exclusive offers end soon. Lease the Rogue family for $159 per month, or lease the 2017 Nissan Pathfinder just $239 per month. There's still time to save at Nissan Now. Don't miss big offers on Rogue with ProPilot Assist that helps keep you centered in your lane. The technology of tomorrow, available today. Time is running out. Save big on our entire lineup now. It's time for an upgrade. Hurry into the Nissan Now sales event. Exclusive offers end soon. Lease the Rogue family for $159 per month, or lease the 2017 Nissan Pathfinder just $239 per month.
Designed to handle unexpected moments, helping you adapt at every turn. The Lincoln MKX.
From Boston's news leader, this is WCVB News Center 5.
Live pictures high atop the city of Boston. Can't see much on this snowy morning. Our third nor'easter in New England now. In the span of less than 2 weeks, you can see the snow is coming down at a good clip right now at 12 minutes after 10 o'clock.
Well, and that picture really tells the story too, doesn't it? That visibility is just kind of tough right now.
Yeah.
We were both saying we came in just a short time ago, and that visibility I think is what I noticed the most about that drive-in.
Right, and you know, the road's actually so far not in awful shape. Seems like the plow crew is doing a pretty good job keeping ahead of it.
Right.
But as Cindy and Kellyanne mentioned, there is a heavy band of snow. It's on the South Shore right now, making its way north toward, you know, the Metro West suburbs and the city of Boston and the close-in suburbs. These are pictures right now in Boston, and you can see there is a little bit of blacktop there, but the roads are increasingly snow-covered.
Starting to accumulate, and that's going to be the tough part. No matter how many crews you have out, when it's coming down this fast, you can see a plow crew right there trying to keep up with it is really going to be the tricky part. So if you do have to be out today, I know we say this to you every time, but please, 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 just be careful.
Let's show you Route 3. This is on the South Shore as our crews are making their way from the Hingham area on down into Duxbury and the Plymouth area. And we know actually the South Shore getting hit hard right now already with power outages in this storm. Cohasset, more than 50% of that town has already lost power, and that's expected to grow as this storm intensifies.
All right, I want to take you to Revere now, where Katie Thompson is live there for us. Katie, give us a sense of what it's like where you are.
Hey, Ben and Emily, good morning. Well, all morning long, the story has been the wind and the waves, and still an hour after high tide, that remains to be the story here. We're on Winthrop Parkway in Revere, but as you head down towards Winthrop, there is some flooding there from all this splashover that we've seen over the past 3 or 4 hours. So there's a state trooper right there. He's blocking off the left side of where the Winthrop Parkway splits, just trying to prevent people from going down there. The other story right now, the snow. Definitely seeing it snow a lot heavier than we were earlier. It is coating the roadways. I think it's honestly a little lighter than it was earlier. We had that really heavy wet snow for a couple of hours, especially with the sea spray that was blowing towards it. It made it difficult for anything to accumulate or stick. That has since changed. So we've got multiple factors here in Winthrop and Revere, all along the North Shore, seeing the same thing. But the high tide definitely contributed to some splashover. And if you just look again down there, you can see where there's already been so much damage and destruction from the last 2 nor'easters. I was actually speaking with a gentleman here. He said he's never seen it this bad. This year, these 3 nor'easters have been the worst he's seen in his decades of living here in Revere. A lot going on this morning. The good news, we haven't seen any power outages that I'm aware of in this area. Don't quote me, I'll check on that and get back to you. Live in Revere, Katie Thompson, WCVB News Center 5.
Let's hope
All
it
right.
stays that way, Katie.
Yeah, and with high tide just about an hour ago or
Yes,
so,
we're
we
moving
can
away
see
from
that splash over still happening there.
All right, so Sydney told us at the top of the hour there is at least one very heavy band of snow moving into the greater Boston metro right now, and that's going to continue to grow, of course, as the snowfall rates pick up. So let's check back in with meteorologist Cindy Fitzgibbon.
All right, yeah, and that band is going to cause more problems because that correlates with heavy snow and stronger winds. And this right now is showing you where we have had reports of trees and some wires coming on down. And unfortunately, every time we check this, we continue to see more and more reports. And with that band of snow pivoting through parts of southeastern Massachusetts, we are going to unfortunately see more of that. Look at the winds. We're gusting 40 to 50 miles per hour right now. Nantucket gusting closer to 60 miles per hour. We have gusted closer to 70, and we are not done with this wind just yet. So power outage risk is going to be greatest here near the coast, and especially in southeastern Massachusetts, where we have the heavier snow and those stronger winds. To the north and west, the snow is a little bit fluffier and lighter at this point, and it's going to become more so as we get into the afternoon. You heard Josh talking about this morning how the snow consistency was really wet and slushy, and over the past few hours, it's really changed. It's a much fluffier snow now. A lot of that has to do with the wind direction. As our storm continues to lift northward, that east and northeasterly wind is going to continue to turn more to the north, and you can see that here over the next 12 hours in Boston, how that wind turns to the north and even the northwest, and that is going to bring in even colder air. So we actually started out in Boston this morning up around 35 degrees. We've come down to 30. You can see 20s in the Worcester area, but unfortunately, as you go from Plymouth down to the Cape, we're still sitting just above that freezing mark. So even though it's snowing, that snow is wetter and it is heavier, and combined with those stronger winds, it's causing some problems. So here is that band of very heavy snow right now, stretching from Scituate back through Easton down to Providence. And look at the motion on this. Very slowly, but very slowly, it is moving toward the north and west. So this is going to fill in here in areas to the north, like around Worcester, and out through Metro West here, where the snow at this moment is a little bit lighter in Framingham. You can see it's heavier in Norwood, and that band is going to pivot toward the north and west. The intensity will pick up around the Boston area as well. And right now, we're looking at moderate snow here through a lot of Essex County, but that intensity is going to pick up as well. You can see that heavier band just offshore, and that's going to pivot back to the north and west as well. So the snow intensity will increase as our storm gets closer. Here's a wider view showing you another heavier band here out in westernmost Massachusetts and Connecticut, and in between, bit of a lull, but that will continue to fill on in here, and that's going to be the story. Look forward in time. We go to about noontime, and you can see how there's a lot of darker blue showing on up. Where you see that darker blue, 1 to 3 inch per hour snowfall rates, and those whiteout conditions when the snow comes down a little bit heavier. And we're going to keep these bands of heavier snow in place through about 6 o'clock or so tonight, and thereafter the intensity is going to let up. But you can see by 11 o'clock tonight, it's snowing. It's light snow, and it becomes more snow showery by early tomorrow morning, but we're really looking for that snow to taper down slowly. So when we are said and done, we're talking about 16 to 20 inches of snow in the Boston area. And look at this list. Ben and Emily, these are the top 5 greatest March snowstorms of all time. If we come in over 14 inches with this one, as I suspect we will, we'll be in the top 2 spot, perhaps making a run for the first. And I don't know if that's a spot we want to be in here with this go around.
We'll pass on that.
Especially since it's what, the third one in like 2 weeks, Yeah.
Yeah, I remember the 93 storm.
Yeah.
All right, so traffic, as you might expect, is light, but messy.
Right, exactly. Take a look at this. So this is from our crew in Boston kind of driving around, and we can see that slush and snow is starting to pile up on the roadways there in the city, Olesa. And I can imagine it's a similar story really around the state.
Yeah, unfortunately, we've had lots and lots of problems throughout the morning. We've had spinouts, we've had jackknife tractor trailers, we've had cars that have gone off the road. So if you do have to head out, please be careful, but your best bet is to stay off the roadways. This right here is Route 1 in Saugus, if you can even see it. And I just saw a couple of crews go through this stretch trying to keep up with that snowfall. So they're working hard. Don't crowd those plows. Let them do their job. Let's head out and take another live look. See what's happening right now as you make your way through Canton. This is a live look at 95, and once again, pretty much whiteout conditions. Hard to see the roadway. We're not seeing any of that blacktop that we saw earlier. So very dangerous driving out there, and much of the same if you're heading north. This is a live look for you along Route 3 in the Tingsboro area. Much of the same here, and again, crews just went through this stretch as well, clearing those roadways, and a check of the Pike for you as you make your way west of town. A look in Framingham. This This is the eastbound side right there. And as you can see, very dangerous driving conditions. And this is why we've got that 40-mile-an-hour speed restriction in effect along the Pike. Let's get to the maps now. That stretches from the New York State line all the way into Weston. Earlier this morning, they had it out in Ludlow, and then they extended it farther east, pretty much into Boston at this point. So if you're heading out on the Pike, just take it slow. And there is no HOV lane on the expressway today. The bulk of our issues right now are north of town. We've got lots of spinouts, lots of problems right here. A jackknife tractor trailer on 495. That's over by Route 150. And once you get past that, another spin out here by Broad Street, then one more right over by 125. As you travel into the Haverhill, Lawrence, Methuen area, that's where we've seen lots of delays, accidents, incidents, and spinouts throughout the morning as well. Right here on 495 by 93, and then again right over by Route 97. Another spin out coming in just a few minutes ago right here by 495. So you get the picture. Very dangerous driving out there. And then west of town in the Charlton area, we had several multi-car accidents. We had several jackknife tractor trailers. So the Pike is not doing much better today. Couple things you need to know for the T. They're on a weekend schedule today. Shuttle buses are replacing the Mattapan trolley. Amtrak service is still suspended as of yesterday between New York and Boston. There is no ferry service today, and there are about 800 cancellations in and out of Logan. So you want to call ahead, check with your carrier. Commuter rail, extremely limited schedule today, and we've been seeing delays throughout the morning. Right now, you've got some on the Newburyport as well as the Kingston line, and we did have some delays on the Red Line this morning. Again, they're on a limited schedule too. At this point, they are on time, but very few trains are running. That is your best bet, though, if you do plan on heading out. Ben, Emily?
Yeah. All right, Alyssa, thank you.
Yeah, let's show you what driving conditions look like on 128. This in the Newton area right there by the Newton rest stop. Look at that. Not a lot of blacktop on that road. Our storm team coverage will return after this.
There's still time to save at Nissan now. Don't miss big offers on Rogue with ProPilot Assist that helps keep you centered in your lane. The technology of tomorrow, available today. Time is running out. Save big on our entire lineup now. It's time for an upgrade. Hurry into the Nissan Now sales event. Exclusive offers end soon. Lease the Rogue family for $159 per month, or lease the 2017 Nissan Pathfinder just $239 per month. There's still time to save at Nissan now. Don't miss big offers on Rogue with ProPilot Assist that helps keep you centered in your lane. The technology of tomorrow, available today. Time is running out. Save big on our entire lineup now. It's time for an upgrade. Hurry into the Nissan Now sales event. Exclusive offers end soon. Lease the Rogue family for $159 per month, or lease the 2017 Nissan Pathfinder just $239 per month.
At Booking.com, we can't guarantee you'll find gold on your Wild West vacation, but we can guarantee the best price on that there rental cabin, or any hotel, home, boat, yurt, whatever. Just don't get carried away with the Wild West thing.
Hey guys!
We guarantee the best price on all kinds of accommodations. Booking.com. Booking.yeah.
Find out how to use an awkward silence to help a friend with their mental health at seizetheawkward.org.
40% of food in America never gets eaten. When we start to think differently about our food, we can get a lot more out of it.
All right, good morning, everyone, and thanks for being with us as we continue our coverage here of this March nor'easter. You're taking a live look there at Manchester, New Hampshire. We can see that some of those snowflakes are covering the lens, but everything pretty much snow covered, although you do see some blacktop there.
You do. That's pretty good flag, though, also moving pretty quickly in the breeze as well. A lot of windy with this storm, especially along the coastline.
Right. So we want to get you out to Scituate, where Sarah Kanji is there for us. This wind, Sarah, I mean, it's just so tough.
The sustained winds, Emily and Ben, really have picked up here. We're thinking it's around 40 miles per hour. It is so strong coming off the water, and with the snow as well as the ocean spray, my previous coat completely soaked and drenched. I had to put on a second coat just to stand out here. I want to show you the ocean here churning up. We're past